Welcome to the Atlas Sidewalk Sale. We're playing 20 questions with
Kimberly Lau, also known as All the Hobbies on Instagram.
All right, when I say fountain pens, what pen do you think of?
Don't make me answer that. I don't know. Off the top of my head, I would have to say the Pilot 823.
All right, how did you get into pens?
I've always been into pens ever since I was little. In fact, I got super in trouble for breaking into my brother's piggy bank and stealing coins here and there so that I could go to the Sanrio store and buy Hello Kitty stationery.
What was your first fountain pen?
I had some of the Schaefer calligraphy pens when I was a kid, but didn't really use fountain pens until 2017 when I found it in a bunch of different groups, and I didn't know that they looked so pretty. So I ended up ordering the Lamy Safari, the Pilot Metropolitan, and a 7-pen pack of Preppies, and they all showed up on the same day.
What's your current daily driver?
I don't have a daily driver. I ink up about 48 pens on the regular, and so I kind of use them all in different rotations.
What's your favorite ink?
I don't have a favorite ink. I have a lot of ink, and it's hard to pick favorites.
Fair enough. What's your favorite brand of either pens or ink?
This is hard. There's so many. I love pens and I love inks, and I'm addicted to both. I do have a unhealthy number of Pelicans, Platinums, Pilots, Sailors, Franklin Christoph, Leonardo's, Monte Grappa. I think I should stop.
Vintage or modern?
Modern.
Do you swatch all your inks?
I have the goal of swatching all my inks. I have about 65% of my inks currently swatched.
Do you daily drive the same inks in any pens, or do you always switch it up?
I like to think that one of my superpowers is matching inks to pens in terms of color. So like if I have an orange pen, I want to match it with an orange ink. A few exceptions apply. Black pens, silver pens, gold pens, white pens, clear pens, anything goes in those, but otherwise I like to match the colors. And then within that, there are a few that I have a hard time using a different ink. So like the Pelican M200 Cafe Creme, yep. I love putting Robert Oster's Cafe Crema in that.
Okay. Do you keep your nib writing samples, or do you just know the nib in every pen?
A little of both. A lot of the things I post on Instagram, I'll put the pen and ink information at the bottom of the page so that I'll remember when I flip through it later on. But after that, in general, I kind of have a good idea of how the pen writes.
What's a pen you wish you could see in person?
Ooh. I don't have one off the top of my head that I can think of. I'm really fortunate to be able to go to a lot of different shows. I think this is like my 7th or 8th show of the year. So I do get to see a lot of things. So nothing comes to mind that I haven't seen that I know of. Yeah.
What's your current grail?
I don't have any Grail pens at the moment. I actually own 2 of the Grail pens I wanted. The first one is the Mont Blanc Blue Hour, and then the other one is the Vanishing Point Twilight, which a friend helped me find late last year.
We do love pen friends.
Yes, they're dangerous.
They are dangerous though. What pen would you recommend to a beginner?
A lot of people recommend the pens that I bought at my first pen, so the Lamy Safari, the Metropolitan, and the Preppies. I want to add to that list. I really love the Faber-Castell grip. Because they are inexpensive, they're fun, they come in lots of colors, and you know, the triangular grip is not as severe as say on the Safaris, so it works great for people who don't like that severe of a grip.
Yeah. What ink would you recommend to a beginner?
Most anything from Diamine is great, Robert Oster is great. I would stay away from shimmers and sheens to begin with, just so you know what's working, you know, what. And obviously a good solid Waterman is always welcome.
What advice would you have for somebody wanting to try out fountain pens who might be a bit intimidated by them?
There are a lot of amazing videos out there that will, you know, like a lot of Fountain Pen 101 videos. So I would highly recommend checking that out. If you don't have a store nearby, Atlas is great. If you do have a brick and mortar store, absolutely support them. They're not as many out there as there used to be, and so absolutely support your local brick and mortar stores. If you don't have a brick and mortar store, there are online stores, there are pen shows. I didn't know that was a thing when I first started, and it's very next level.
Yes.
And this is really hard for me because I'm an extrovert. I do know there are a lot of people out there who are not extroverted like me. We embrace you. We are more than happy to share the hobby. No question is too dumb or stupid or silly. You know, I don't care if you're showing me a $3 pen. I don't care if you show me a $3,000 pen. If you're excited about it, I am happy for you. And I don't know many people in this hobby who wouldn't be thrilled if, you know, just to meet somebody who is new, you know, wants to know a little bit more about this hobby.
Yeah, no, there's a huge range of favorite pens in this series, from like pens that cost $15 to pens that cost thousands of dollars.
Absolutely.
When people talk about their favorite pens. What filling mechanism do you think is most interesting, regardless of if you actually like to use it?
I think the combination of bulk fillers slash draw fillers slash vac fillers are kind of interesting to me. They're not my favorites to clean, but I think they're kind of neat from an engineering perspective.
What nib size do you prefer to write with?
Medium, any brand, all brands.
What's a nib style you love or find interesting but would never actually use?
I can't use obliques.
Okay.
So obliques are, let's say if you have a nib like this, you know, where there's two tines, an oblique is where one of the feet is going to be a little bit further, and that's great for people who rotate their nibs. I don't rotate my nibs, so I can't write with one. I do think it's awesome that that exists as an option for people who do.
I rotate quite badly, and I still don't like obliques. Mom, on the other hand, loves them.
There you go.
Do you always use the same paper? If so, what paper? If not, what's your favorite paper?
I am pretty paper agnostic, meaning as long as it's fountain pen friendly, I'm all for it. I do have favorites. I do like Tomoe River. I also like a good Cosmo Air Light. Regalia paper is great. Clairefontaine, I've used that a lot. Yeah, kind of everything.
Right. What's your least favorite ink or ink color family?
Black. It's not my favorite. There are some great black inks out there. Platinum Chokuro is an amazingly black ink, which I was surprised at how much I liked. Same with Aurora Black, really nice wet flowing ink. But otherwise, sorry, I'm not a big black fan.
Unless the black's waterproof, I don't see the point of it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for playing 20 questions.
Thank you so much for having me.